A new wave of war games is on the horizon for 2026 and 2027, focusing on brutal combat set across massive open-world environments. With large battle zones, survival elements, and evolving threats, these titles aim to deliver intense warfare experiences where scale and realism play a major role. Hell Let Loose Vietnam features 50 vs 50 multiplayer battles set during the Vietnam War, where players choose between the North Vietnamese Army and the US Armed Forces and take on different combat roles. Matches take place across large maps with modes like Warfare and Offensive that focus on sector control and attack defense. Players use weapons, helicopters, patrol boats, and tunnels, while teamwork, communication, and movement actions like swimming and dragging injured teammates play a key role.
Ask you, are you ready for great changes under the guidance of a great leader?
Metro 2039 is a single-player first-person shooter set in post-apocalyptic Moscow, where survivors live inside metro tunnels under strict rule. Players control a character moving through ruined areas and underground spaces while dealing with hostile forces and limited resources. Gameplay includes shooting, stealth, and survival systems that require careful movement and planning. The story connects events in the Metro with conflicts between factions and threats found beyond the city.
The noble right says comply. The people say aye. Fear not the enemy's threats, for the Führer hunter protects you.
Where are they taking them? Can you hear me?
They do. They hear everything. But you don't let them speak.
No. It's not about me. I won't ask again.
It's all about you. Sleep.
Together now, children.
The Noblemen is our home. Either we destroy or we are destroyed. No one will mourn us if we die. Mercy is weakness.
Our enemies have no pity for us.
No.
The enemy must be destroyed.
The enemy must be destroyed. The enemy must be destroyed. The enemy must be destroyed. The enemy must be destroyed. The enemy must be destroyed.
look. What a sight to behold. Whew. That's all.
Ace Combat 8 Wings of Theve is an aerial combat game where players control a fighter jet and take part in mission-based battles against enemy forces. Gameplay includes dogfights, target elimination, and weapon use while flying through dynamic cloud-filled environments. The campaign features structured missions with objectives that change during combat. Between missions, players interact with squad members and follow a story that connects pilot decisions with ongoing military operations.
Legendary Ace of Aces.
He's a mass delusion fabricated by the rumor mill of social media.
Radar contact. We think it's the shadows.
Our lone target is Wings.
I'll draw its fire.
Time to pull out, 22.
Roger that.
God damn it.
Start swimming, soldier. Make it home alive.
Let's keep at it, Rex.
Ray, heads up!
On your orders, Rex.
To keep hope alive, Wings of Theve must stay on the mission. Must fly on.
I can make up your kill count to be whatever.
Right. From now on, you'll be the greatest ace pilot this war will ever know.
14 Years of Flames is a first-person shooter based on the Second Sino-Japanese War, where players control 7 different characters across 16 historical battles. Each mission takes place in real locations, with objectives tied to combat situations from that period. Gameplay includes weapon use, movement through varied terrain, and interaction with period-accurate equipment and vehicles. The campaign progresses through multiple events showing different roles and combat scenarios across the war.
所以死了，一切意义都没了。我们得追求一致，过上舒服的生活，不是吗？康康们的如今的繁荣与进步，我们的都是亚细亚同胞兄弟，共保和平，才能共荣大东亚。周队长已经加入了我们，赵兄弟要是不嫌弃，就请来担任皇协军队长。今天晚上，我们得先去喝2杯，然后再。
哭了。
Fear of Faith is a co-op survival horror game for 1 to 4 players set in bunker environments with interactive systems. Players choose classes with unique spells and passives, combining abilities to solve encounters or fight enemies. Spell use consumes a resource that increases danger, requiring players to manage it with items or team support. Gameplay includes stealth, physical item handling, trap interaction, and generator control that changes paths and enemy behavior.
Мая 1986 года. Объект
Заказ 6. Системная проверка оборудования. Запись видео.
Fragmentary Order is a hardcore multiplayer extraction shooter set in 2251, where players control cloned units sent from bunkers into contested areas across a dystopian solar system. Gameplay involves entering large maps, collecting resources, completing contracts, and extracting while risking all carried equipment. Players manage clone assets, use customizable weapons, and operate within a player-driven economy. Combat is slower and tactical, with systemic interactions and vehicle use affecting engagements and mission outcomes.
During the years of strife, many turned to the most primitive ways of solving problems. Everyone for themselves is what it was. We had to change it. It took many years and a lot of effort to make everyone come to terms, our terms. Not everyone agreed, and they suffered for it, but most took it as a salvation. A new world order was established.
The peace treaty is currently being concluded under the leadership of the Corps.
With the help of Corps reestablishment structure, although the land was tired to keep life on it. That's why Corps created the purification program, and each of us can participate.
And then, the great industrialization began. A relentless process that endures to this day, forging a vast reservoir of innovation that propelled production volumes and quality to unprecedented heights. We had to move forward. The only logical solution to saving humanity was space and its resources. But we were barely ready for it. Yet, something happened.
We appear to be...
Was it foreseen? Or was it a miracle? Only the forefathers know.
Atmospheric seal confirmed. Prepare for infill. Span out. Secure the perimeter. Target location is 200 meters ahead. Stand by. Stand by. Copy. I'm moving.
Enemies in the building! Get to cover!
Our guidance made humanity united, gave them purpose, but did not remove the greed or old grudges. Yet, it gave just enough to make almost everyone move into the future. The new golden age of humanity has started. We have left our old cradle behind and head for the unknown, ready and dedicated. We removed our old boundaries with advanced core technologies.
Striking contact. Battlecruiser 04.
We started the Renaissance to last forever.
Confirming backup trajectory for Mars Uno. We're maintaining 300,000 clicks trailing position as instructed. Established on the glide 4.4.
Copy, Buzzard. Priority vessel Mars Uno. Green across.
Old disagreements, old ideologies. To contest that, humanity has risen to levels unreachable before.
No one expected them to act that way. When we were given the responsibility of developing this colony, no one expected those PCF thugs to start attacking everybody. It's like they were happy before we came. Huh? We will pacify them. Our forces are more than capable. I'm sure.
Rebuild a better place for us and future generations. We are the core that keeps you in belief.
They helped us build it. We didn't fucking do anything. Earn real money around the system sitting on a fucking island.
He's leaving the table. This is Kari. Learn how to work.
We built the world on truth.
Units are being dispatched to contain the situation.
Decency. And faith in humanity.
order better toys, and mod your damn repent. Now get the fuck out of here.
Now is the time to wait and see. We will be here, guiding, protecting. That is our mission.
Home before the leaves fall, they said.
The Caribou Trail is a first-person narrative game set during the Gallipoli campaign in World War I, where players follow 3 soldiers through story-driven missions and daily trench life. Gameplay includes tasks such as cutting barbed wire, moving through no man's land, and collecting items tied to fallen soldiers. Players interact with companions between missions, make choices during events, and engage with elements that mix historical settings with psychological and folklore themes.
Keep moving, everyone! Come on! Come on! Gordo!
Fellow countrymen, the world is gripped by a war without end.
Noblemen 1941 is a third-person shooter with real-time strategy elements set in an alternate World War II, where players control a leader who fights on the battlefield while managing units and resources. Gameplay includes deploying infantry, vehicles, and experimental units, building defenses, and capturing locations across campaign maps. Combat uses systems like armor penetration and morale, while players also level up, unlock abilities, and adjust equipment during missions.
Fight as our sword. They carry the burden of our hope and the weight of our future. With their courage, this endless war can be broken. And with their strength, we shall...
The galaxy lies shattered. The Blood Raven.
Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 4 is a real-time strategy game where players control armies from 4 factions, including the Adeptus Mechanicus, across campaign and multiplayer modes. Gameplay involves building forces, managing resources, and commanding units in battles with tactical positioning and abilities. The campaign includes over 70 missions, while additional modes like Skirmish and Last Stand provide replayable scenarios with different objectives and combat setups.
Mechanicus priests pursue knowledge long forgotten. Ancient horrors awaken, claiming dominion over all. And something still stirs below. Buried deep, lost for eons, and never meant to return. We stand defiant. Cronus must not fall. And we are not alone. Is untold. Only one thing is certain. War has returned to Cronus.
Trench Tales is a third-person action game set in a dark war-themed world, combining early 20th century settings with horror elements. Players control a lone character using ranged weapons, melee attacks, and special abilities like time, slowdown, and healing. Gameplay includes resource management with limited ammo, weapon customization, and tactical combat against enemy types. The current build includes partial areas, core systems, and ongoing updates that adjust combat, enemies, and performance. The Defiant is a first-person shooter set during World War II on Chinese battlefields, where players take part in missions across forests, villages, and fortified areas. Gameplay includes using a range of historical weapons such as rifles, pistols, and machine guns while engaging enemy forces in combat scenarios. Players move through different levels based on real locations, completing objectives tied to battlefield situations with both solo and cooperative play options.
我说的，他们问鬼子杀得完吗？杀不完也得杀。要是中国人都投降了，那他妈还有中国吗？攻撃を止めるな！できた。我图正面，你们表示魔头，一窝头，有快！停下！你别动！去杀！这个怪！敵に注意しろ！いいな！掩护我！我过来！来呀，狗日的！都给老子去死！啊！谁是杀？隠れろ！敵だ！隠れろ！快杀进去！攻撃しろ！敵だ！俺に続け！リード！快快快！迎撃しろ！行くぜ！撃て！敵が撃つぞ！攻上去！射击失误！注意隐蔽！
去死吧！
War Thunder Infantry mode adds first-person combat to the game, where players fight in urban maps with modern weapons alongside vehicles and drones. Matches support large player counts with class roles, such as Assault, Sniper, Anti-Tank, and Anti-Air. Gameplay includes building, clearing, squad-based spawning, and movement affected by gear weight. Players can use tanks, helicopters, and drones during combat, with ongoing updates adjusting weapon handling, animations, and performance. Defect is a first-person shooter set in a cyberpunk city controlled by an AI, where players choose factions, such as police forces or gangs, and take part in objective-based missions. Gameplay includes single-player, co-op, and competitive modes, with squads completing tasks like arrests, assassinations, and smuggling. Matches involve multiple teams with changing objectives, while players use advanced weapons, gear, and preparation systems to plan and adapt during each encounter.
Harvest. High-value criminal elements control the entire block between Figueroa and Lincoln. Multiple suspects in the stacks. Infiltrate and harvest. I will guide you in. Serve and protect. And the system will set you free. Once you're inside, apprehend and pursue all suspects. The system requires you monitor all fellow officers for deviation. It is your sworn duty to report any agitation, any disobedience, any emotion. The system is always watching.
Everyone of you.
Fresh meat. Welcome to the grinder. You think you're brave? Law-abiding citizens, we have guests. 10 foes out for the first slug to bring me to head. If you want to live through the night, stay the fuck out of our way.
That's the first data drive. Marked.
Running a bypass.
Stealth wall deployed.
Suspect inside is jamming our system access. Breach and clear the apartment. Weapons hot.
Let me see her.
No hesitation.
Please help.
Subject down.
What did they promise you? Freedom? Family?
There are 2 more data cubes on this block.
The system knows. You're one of us.
prosecute with extreme prejudice.
Fuck you, pig!
Consciousness transfer approved.
No, 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 no!
Please, I just need to get up to 460.
Alameda PD is tracking multiple gang units converging on your position. Floor 80 and above are locked down. Data cubes will access the system mainframe, wipe the drive, and reboot the block.
Useless bastards! You let the pigs shed into my shit! I skinned a lot of you! Now swallow the What did they promise you? Freedom. Family. Assist.
World of Tanks Heat is a team-based tank combat game where players select an agent with unique abilities and control customizable vehicles in multiplayer matches. Gameplay includes modes like Conquest, Domination, and Kill Confirmed with 5v5 and 10v10 battles. Players adjust tank loadouts using weapons, armor, and active abilities within set limits. Matches rely on coordination, timing, and role use, with progression unlocking new agents, vehicles, and equipment options. Terminator Survivors is an action game set after a global catastrophe, where players control a survivor rebuilding operations while avoiding machine threats. Gameplay includes combat using ranged and close weapons, stealth approaches, and managing a base to support progress. Players interact with characters, uncover story elements, and face different machine types, including advanced units that track movement. Movement across open areas, resource gathering, and survival decisions shape each encounter and mission. Halo Campaign Evolved is a remake of a classic first-person shooter campaign with updated visuals, controls, and expanded content. Players go through story missions alone or in 4-player co-op, using weapons and vehicles against enemy forces. Gameplay includes additional missions, new weapons, and modifiers that change combat conditions. Players can drive and hijack vehicles, replay missions with different settings, and use varied tactics across each encounter.
Chief, gotta find the cartographer. We'll keep him busy as long as we can.
Fire Team Charlie, we're on our way.
Touchdown! Hit it, Marine! Somebody go to a Warthog!
The Covenant are putting up a real fight. The cartographer must be here. Give them hell, Chief.
Star Wars Zero Company is a single-player turn-based tactics game set during the later period of the Clone Wars, where players control a squad led by a former Republic officer. Gameplay involves planning moves, positioning units, and using abilities in structured encounters against enemy forces. Players manage a team with different roles, making decisions during missions that affect outcomes. The game combines squad management with tactical combat across story-driven operations.
See. Fought in the shadows. The war beneath the war. A war that's won with the right strategy. Surveillance, ciphers, good old-fashioned sabotage. These aren't the heroes they tell stories about. They're professionals. Setting aside their differences to take on the impossible. But that's the job, and they get it done.
Gears of War E-Day is a third-person shooter set during the initial invasion by underground creatures, where players control Marcus Phoenix alongside Dom Santiago in story-driven missions. Gameplay includes cover-based combat, close-range encounters, and weapon use against enemy forces appearing from below the surface. Players move through urban areas under attack, working through objectives while facing large-scale threats and coordinated enemy assaults.
Tonight, much of Europe waits anxiously as reports of fighting continue to spread. Officials warn...
83 is a large-scale multiplayer first-person shooter set during a Cold War conflict, where players join either NATO or Soviet forces in 40 versus 40 battles. Gameplay is squad-based and objective-focused, with matches lasting around 30 to 40 minutes. Players use era-accurate weapons, vehicles, and roles including commanders who guide teams. Combat includes realistic handling, fast respawns, and coordination across squads to capture and defend key areas.
I'm David Webb. I'm the narrator and head of Yarn Hub, and what you're looking at right now is recordings from our recent playtests for our upcoming free-to-play game.
Brass Rain is a multiplayer first-person shooter set in World War II, where players take part in co-op and competitive matches across historical locations. Gameplay includes objective-based missions with attackers and defenders, as well as modes like Team Deathmatch and Zone Control. Players use period weapons in close and mid-range combat across maps with trenches, interiors, and multiple routes. Matches rely on coordination, positioning, and adapting to shifting objectives during battles.
Everyone, not just Yarn Hub viewers, would recognize. As I mentioned, it's going to be free to play, and that doesn't mean pay to win. We're really working hard with the community to make sure that it's not a hellish grind like some free-to-play titles you may have played. We're going to have microtransactions, but the plan is not for them to give you a massive leg up in the game. It's a multiplayer game from the start, and of course you're seeing that now. It's going to be co-op as well, which is working together in tanks and eventually planes and ships. Of course, from the start, you'll be able to work together as infantry, which we'll have in every single version. And we've taken a lot from the video that we made on Point to Hawk, and that's something that you'll see consistently being done. Of course, the guns are far more accurate and mechanically correct than in our films. With films, we have to produce assets really quickly, but for the game, we can take a little bit more time over it. This also applies to uniforms and, of course, locations, which are balanced for gameplay. One of the new weapons that we're working on is the flamethrower. But we're not going to just cover well-known stories. What you're looking at right now is a brand new level that we're working on for Castle Litter. Now, Yarn Hub fans and Sabaton fans will have probably heard of Castle Litter. It's a great story for a game level. Basically, every side is fighting each other with different factions, and it's inside and outside of an old castle. If you like what you see and you want to get involved, we'd love you to wishlist and follow Brass Rain on Steam. We're planning early access for December 2026, and if you have anything to add, you can head over to the Discord today to get involved in the conversation, maybe even the playtests. The link's in the description.
Every voyage begins with a plan.
Ahoy is a multiplayer naval game set in the late 18th century, where players control ships and work with crews in cooperative and competitive scenarios. Gameplay includes sailing mechanics, managing crew members, trading goods, and engaging in ship-based combat using cannons and positioning. Players command both human and AI crew, handle navigation using wind and sea conditions, and take part in battles or trade routes across Caribbean regions with different factions and encounters.
Dishonor, fame and fortune. The life of a sea captain is one of duty and relentless pursuit. True riches are not in gold and jewels, but in the stories we bring back and the legend we become. But never at our final destination. So we chart our next course. We sail. We fight. We endure. For the voyage is life. And life is the voyage.
Thou shalt not kill. So the priests tell us.
Chronicles Medieval is an action strategy sandbox where players create a character and build power through combat, resource management, and leadership. Gameplay includes recruiting and commanding armies in battles and sieges while also fighting directly with melee weapons. Players construct and defend castles, manage resources, and interact with factions across a dynamic map. Systems like crafting, diplomacy, and troop control allow different approaches to progression and conflict during each playthrough.
I became like them. I took up the sword, prayed I could win redemption through my deeds. But some paths, once taken, have only one ending. I shall find no peace. On this road, there is only death. But that's just my story. Go write your own.
We rule by divine right.
Total War Medieval 3 is a strategy game set in the Middle Ages, where players manage a faction across a campaign map while commanding armies in battles. Gameplay combines turn-based management of cities, diplomacy, and resources with real-time combat where units are positioned and directed on the field. Players can follow historical paths or take different approaches, using political decisions, expansion, and military control to influence outcomes across the campaign.
The realm is ours, only when our enemies lie dead.
Patience and time will beget our gain.
We are stability,
dignity,
and authority.
We bear the weight of pain
and of defeat.
Greatness shall ever define us,
and we shall never
be forgotten. So,
how will you
shape
your realm?
How will you
make history?
Make
history.
Make history.
Wardogs is a large-scale multiplayer first-person shooter where up to 100 players are split into 3 teams competing to control shifting zones on expansive maps. Gameplay includes buying loadouts with in-game currency, using vehicles, and earning rewards through combat and support actions. Players can build defenses or destroy structures, with matches driven by teamwork, positioning, and resource use as teams race to reach the score limit.
Now. Another one. Oh, get out! Let's go!
That was sick.
Try and hit them in front.
Go down, go down, go down!
In the house of the rising sun. In the house of the... Heads down!
Gallipoli is a multiplayer first-person shooter set on the Ottoman fronts of World War I, where players take part in beach landings, desert combat, and urban battles. Gameplay is squad-based, with classes such as officer, machine gunner, and support roles that affect team performance. Weapons use realistic handling with reload systems and suppression effects. Matches include coordinated attacks, defensive actions, and bot support while teams compete across historically based maps. Wraith Ops is a multiplayer first-person shooter focused on infantry combat, where players join squads and compete in objective-based matches. Gameplay includes multiple classes, each with different roles that affect team strategy. Players use weapon upgrades and movement systems during combat while working with teammates to control objectives. Matches are structured across several modes, with an emphasis on coordination, positioning, and consistent performance during engagements.
Demo right now in Steam Next Fest, and today we're going to talk about some of the changes to one of the maps you'll be fighting on. Airfield has come a long way since some of you first played it during our public playtest last August, and since then we've been iterating heavily. So why the changes? The original Airfield had a number of layout issues that affected pacing and balance. Some objectives were placed too close to spawn points, which skewed fights and heavily favoured defending teams. Other areas, like the hangar and nearby rooftops, created dominant positions that encouraged spawn camping, which limited meaningful counterplay. The new airfield is a complete rework. Objectives have been reorganised, spaces restructured, and new combat lines introduced. The map is now more clearly divided into distinct areas, giving players more ways to move, flank, and approach engagements. These changes are designed to improve flow and create more consistent, readable fights across the map. Jump into the Wraith Ops demo right now, test Airfield for yourself alongside 2 other maps. Wraith Ops started as a passion project, and that hasn't changed.
KVLT is a single-player, first-person shooter set during World War II with supernatural elements, where players control a character using weapons enhanced with arcane effects. Gameplay includes combat against human and non-human enemies using firearms and magical abilities that can be combined for different attacks. Players also use special vision to find hidden paths and solve puzzles, while defensive powers allow protection during close-range encounters. Reaper Actual is an open-world multiplayer shooter set on a large island where players control operatives and take part in missions against other players and AI factions. Gameplay includes deploying into the map, collecting gear, completing objectives, and extracting while keeping acquired items. Players manage a base for preparation, upgrade weapons and equipment, and interact with systems like looting, trading, and crafting while moving across different regions with varied encounters.
Another beautiful day in Nova.
Stop! Engaging override in 3, 2, 1.
Exoborne is an open-world extraction shooter where players enter large maps affected by dynamic weather and complete missions while gathering resources. Gameplay includes using customizable exo-rigs that provide abilities suited for combat and movement in changing conditions like storms and hazards. Players fight enemy factions and other players collect loot and extract to keep progress. Systems such as crafting, gear upgrades, and planning routes play a key role in each session.
Rising. Only the strongest can thrive. Chaos reigns. If they think this is the end of the world, Reborn, put on your exo and prove them wrong.
Up there! Gotta move!
Come on, let's go!
Rules of engagement. The Gray State is a tactical shooter with role-playing elements where players control operatives entering dangerous zones to collect artifacts. Gameplay includes building loadouts, crafting gear, and completing objectives while facing creatures and rival squads. Players gather resources during missions and must extract to secure rewards. Combat, progression, and equipment choices shape each run, with multiplayer systems supporting both cooperative and competitive encounters. Horizon Steel Frontiers is an online multiplayer game where players create hunters from different tribes and take part in large-scale battles against machine enemies in a shared world. Gameplay includes cooperative raids with groups using bows, traps, and coordinated tactics to target machine parts and control encounters. Players can also engage in PvP activities, customize characters, and build equipment, with progression tied to combat, performance, and team coordination. Veil of Ashes is a real-time tactics game set in a dark steampunk setting, where players command armies made up of infantry, tanks, and large units across destructible battlefields. Gameplay includes capturing strategic points, earning reinforcement points, and deploying stronger units or support abilities during matches. Players build armies from different factions with unique units and styles, adapting tactics in both solo and multiplayer battles with varied objectives and map conditions.
Even the crows refuse to feast on thee.
Valor Mortis is a first-person action game with Souls-like systems, where players control a revived soldier using weapons and supernatural abilities in combat. Gameplay includes melee fighting with parries, dodges, and timed attacks, along with progression gained through repeated attempts after defeat. Players unlock new powers, use mobility to avoid enemies, and search areas for hidden elements. Encounters involve challenging enemies and require careful timing, positioning, and resource use.
What horror has been unleashed on these lands? Some escape in daydreaming, some in madness. What madness has taken hold here? Am I dreaming this hellish nightmare?
In the grim darkness.
Total War Warhammer 40,000 is a strategy game set across multiple planets where players control factions and manage campaigns involving conquest, resources, and army deployment. Gameplay combines large-scale battles with unit control, including infantry, vehicles, and heavy weapons during combat. Players can customize units, use abilities like bombardments, and interact with destructible environments. The campaign involves expanding control across regions while managing different planet types and strategic positions.
Traitors and demons. Across countless worlds, battles rage. Lead your armies. Conquer worlds. Fight on as the galaxy burns. For there is no peace amongst the stars. There is only war.
Iron Nest Heavy Turret Simulator is a first-person artillery game where players operate a large turret using manual controls to aim and fire across battlefields. Gameplay includes reading coordinates, adjusting elevation, calculating trajectories, and selecting different ammunition types for specific targets. Players manage multiple systems like communication, targeting, and machine operation while responding to orders. Each shot affects the map, requiring precision, planning, and careful handling of the turret systems. Projekt Z Beyond Order is a first-person shooter where players take on missions against zombie enemies alone or in 4-player co-op. Gameplay includes choosing from different characters with unique abilities, upgrading skills, and customizing weapons using collected resources and blueprints. Players complete missions, gather loot, and return to a base to craft gear and improve equipment, with additional modes allowing further combat, exploration, and side objectives. Game of Thrones War for Westeros is a real-time strategy game where players control factions based on the Great Houses and compete to gain control of the Seven Kingdoms. Gameplay includes managing resources, building armies, and commanding units in battles across different regions. Players can form alliances or compete in multiplayer matches using heroes and faction abilities to influence combat and strategic decisions during each match.
This is your legacy. You decide who wins and who dies.
Kingmakers is an action strategy game where players control a character in third person while also directing large-scale armies in real-time battles. Gameplay includes switching between direct combat, using modern weapons, and issuing commands to units such as infantry and cavalry. Players build and defend structures, manage forces, and take part in battles with thousands of AI-controlled soldiers, with options for solo play or cooperative sessions.
Good morning, Commander. The cooperative state has honored me with the supervision of your well-being.
PVKK is a simulation game where players control a planetary defense cannon from inside a bunker, managing systems to track and destroy incoming threats. Gameplay includes operating controls such as scanners, energy systems, and firing mechanisms, while calculating trajectories for accurate shots. Players also upgrade the bunker, solve puzzles to uncover hidden information, and make decisions that affect the story and lead to different outcomes.
They wish to eliminate this facility. Destroy them before they do.
The days fly by when you love what you do.
Glory to the Heroes is a first-person shooter set in modern warfare, where players take part in large-scale battles using infantry roles, vehicles, and support systems. Gameplay includes squad-based coordination, role-specific tasks such as operating drones or artillery, and managing resources like ammunition and supplies. Players can build defenses, use destructible environments, and engage in both single-player and PvPvE scenarios across maps based on real locations. TankRat is an action game set in a ruined world, where players control a drone and switch between a smaller unit and larger combat tanks during missions. Gameplay includes fighting mechanical enemies, collecting parts from destroyed units, and attaching them to improve weapons and armor. Players move through hazardous areas, manage upgrades, and adapt builds based on collected components, with each run focused on survival, combat efficiency, and progression.
You never know what you might find.